Forgot my hat. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you all here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph, and I am the host of this show. So sorry, I was preoccupied just before we started the show with somebody on the phone, and so I've been rushing a bit to get it all set. A little bit late, but not too much. I think it was about a minute off. Anyways, I want to welcome you here to the channel. Today is rock. Sorry, it just completely went out of my brain. So it's a rock topics today, and we're going to be talking about rock drummers. So there's no particular genre here, probably all genres. I don't know if I'll talk much about jazz drummers because I don't know much about them. I know Billy Coughlin. There's a few others that I'm kind of a little bit familiar with, but generally speaking, I don't really follow jazz or jazz fusion much, so I feel like I'm out of my element if I talk about that stuff. But where it comes to rock drummers, I think I've got a pretty good handle on the ones I think that are really good. So what I've done is I could have put a stack of 60 here and talked about each of them, but what I'm going to do is I picked the five of the ones that I think are pretty important to rock. And we'll talk about other ones as we go along. And I'll talk about these ones first, and then we'll talk about some of the other ones that I quite like as well. But these are the five that I think are very impactful for most people. I guess I could have added and made it 10 and it would have been fine, but I just grabbed 5 of them for the beginning. So we're just going to talk about them. The first one, of course, is going to be John Bonham of Led Zeppelin. I just grabbed this particular album, but I could have grabbed just about any of them. So the thing about John Bonham, okay, what I like about John Bonham and what I don't like about John Bonham. So I've always thought, at least when I was younger, maybe not so much now, but when I was younger, I used to think he's just overrated. That was the only thing that came to my mind because he wasn't my guy, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, but he's actually an exceptional drummer. People say, yeah, but couldn't do this. He couldn't. Well, we don't know, right? We don't, because he's never. Drummers will usually play the music and the drum style that suits the band they're in. Some of them stay that way their whole life, and others go off and try different things. John Bonham, could he have done some of the speed metal stuff? I think he could have, but we'll never know because that was not an option back then for him. But the stuff he did do, he was exceptionally good at. He was a pounding, loud drummer with great triplets and some fantastic sounds from his drum, and fit the music perfectly. Like, I don't know how he could fit music any perfectly more perfect than what he did. So for me, he has to be one of the drummers we talk about tonight, or one of the drummers I talk about. And so I started out with him. So the next drummer up is probably my favorite drummer, and this is Rush's Neil Peart. I actually chose this album for that specific thing because one of the best drum fills on any of the Rush albums is the Bytor and the Snow Dog one. It's fantastic, and we've seen this displayed recently with Anika Nilles doing her drum impression of Neil Peart. She did it masterful, but it's just such an iconic drum riff, and he's just laced with that type of drumming. He's a completely different drummer than John Bonham as well. He's a faster pace, more percussionist type drummer, off time signatures and lots of fills and never playing the same beat. Like, he wasn't the type of drummer that would play the same beat from beginning to end on the album or on the particular song. Always changing it up constantly. And some of his drum solos and drum solo musicalities are among the best in rock, I think. And so I'm including him here on my list. Not that this is really much of a list. I just picked 5 drummers that I think are the most impactful, at least to me, they are. Next one up, Bill Bruford. Originally from Yes, but eventually with King Crimson, and then on his own and with UK and probably a few other projects as well. But for me, the entry point for Bill was here on the Yes albums, the ones that he was on, the first 5, I believe he was on. Exceptional drummer, really intricate, not exceptionally heavy. I don't think he was a heavy drummer. He could be, but I don't think he was. But he knew how to add the drum parts that fit the music that they were playing. Very sophisticated. It's funny that he left Yes because it was too complicated. He said they were getting too much and too much detail, and he went to King Crimson, which is even more of that stuff. But I think he was fantastic with both bands. He became more, to me, he's more of a percussionist drummer now. I think not percussionist, more of a jazz fusion and jazz drummer than maybe he was early on in his career. But an exceptional drummer. You know, some people would rate him right at the top. Some put him in the top 5. He's my second favorite drummer and probably among the very best drummers out there. The stuff with Yes is outstanding. The stuff with King Crimson is more outstanding. His own solo stuff is pretty outstanding too. So Bill Bruford. Next up, another fantastic drummer, one that Bill Bruford played for while he was doing the vocal parts. Of course, we're talking about Phil Collins. Now, I did choose this particular Genesis album because I think he is exceptional. This is where I first kind of realized how exceptional he was. I think I kind of knew that a little bit on Nursery Crime, but became a lot more aware of it on Foxtrot. And then, of course, going forward, he was just exceptional. His own solo stuff is pretty damn good, too. He's a very good jazz drummer as well. I think he's an exceptional drummer. Can't say enough about him when it comes to the drumming part. His vocals are also really good. Few drummers have the kind of vocal prowess that Phil Collins had. So he is another one of my top 5 here. And then the last one, but definitely not the least, is, yes, you guessed it, Keith Moon. Very different from those first 4. More outrageous. Personality-wise, he probably has more than just about anybody I know. But he was exceptionally energized, heavy, very unorthodox style, and more of a lead type drummer than necessarily a beat keeper, but just an absolute exceptional drummer. I can't think of a drummer who is more frontal than Keith Moon. Like, he was noticeable when he was on stage, more so than just about any other drummer out there. And a very prominent member, you know, like a strong member. And if you look at these 5 drummers I just picked, they're all kind of got a little of that going on. They all are very forward drummers, bringing the drums to the front, as Taylor Hawkins said, bringing the drums to the front where they should be, right? Yeah. So some of the other drummers that I think easily fall into among my favorite drummers. So we'll go down and start in the A's. Of course, you got Phil Rudd, who's really good at keeping the beat for AC/DC. Fantastic drummer too, I think. Some of the drummers that kind of fall into that same kind of Phil Rudd style, I think, are Charlie Watts, who may be more of a percussion, more of a jazz drummer than people gave him credit for, but he kept those iconic beats for the Rolling Stones. And of course, Ringo Starr would also fall into that same thing. Ringo Starr, very iconic beats for the Beatles. You know, when you ask people what they most remember about the Beatles, other than all the vocal songs, the drumming is always one of the big things. It stands out because it's memorable, right? Very memorable. So those are 3 other drummers I really like. I like Ian Paice from Deep Purple as well, although maybe not as forward in the mix as some of the other drummers we've talked about, but still really good. Another guy I really like a lot is Barrymore Barlow from Jethro Tull. To me, an exceptional drummer who just probably doesn't get the notoriety that he deserves. I mean, you listen to some of that stuff that he was on, some exceptional drumming on that, and percussion as well. Trying to think of some others. So the guy from Heart, Mike DeRozier, another very underrated drummer, should be given a lot of kudos for some of the stuff he did with Heart. Fantastic drummer, not just keeping the beat, but doing lead parts and lots of rolls and triplets too. Really fantastic drummer. The guy from The Sweet, another excellent drummer. What's his name now? It's gone out of my head. Anyways, he's an exceptional drummer. Mick Tucker. Sorry, Mick Tucker. Yeah, fantastic drummer. Same kind of thing, like to keep those kind of triplet type drum rolls that people always notice. He's one of those guys that does them very well. I like Jurgen. No, I'm going to get this guy's name. Jurgen Thurston. Is it Thurston? Drummer for Eloy. Played on Eloy's Green album, which I can't remember the name of right now. Another exceptional drummer. Doesn't get as much notoriety as he should. I think he's one of the better ones out there. And, you got some of the more modern drummers like Gavin Harrison and Danny Carey. Not that they're modern, but modern compared to the ones I've been talking about so far. Exceptional drummers. And there's lots of others out there. There's a few guys. The guy from Crownlands, he's fantastic too. I think they actually both play drums. There's some fantastic drums on that album as well. And they're just fairly new to me too, so I don't even really know that much about them. I did like, sorry. Oh, long day. I need another drink here. My brain is starting to burn out here a bit. So some of the other drummers that are, for me, very notable. I like Thin Lizzy's Brian Downey. I think he's pretty good, underrated drummer as well. Of course, Bill Ward and Vinnie Appice, both from Black Sabbath, and from Heaven and Hell, Vinnie Appice from that as well. And he played with Dio as well, so he's really good. I think his brother Carmine is also a very good drummer. My only thing with Carmine is I don't think I've heard much of his stuff other than the Paul Stanley solo album, which I think he was good at. Of course, Anton Fig, since we're talking solo albums, for the Ace Frehley album, excellent drummer. Ended up on David Letterman, I think. Yeah, he's a fantastic drummer too. Like really, really catchy drums. Some of the ones like Peter Criss and the Fox, what was his name? I'm drawing a blank on that too. Anyways, Peter Criss, say what you want. Some people give him a bad rap, but his drum solos are good. They're not Neil Peart or some of those great drummers, but he's still a really solid drummer. At least he was early on. I don't know what he's like now because he's in his 80s, maybe not so good anymore. Who knows? And other drummers that I like to include on this list, Queen's Roger Taylor, really good drummer as well. Trying to think of the other bands. Yeah, maybe I should have pulled my list out. You can give it a look here. There are a lot of, of course, John Weathers, of course, forgot about him. And even Malcolm Mortimer, pretty solid drummers. Ainsley Dunsbar, how could you forget Ainsley? This guy's a fantastic drummer. He was on that first Journey album. He's been on quite a few albums. Lee Kerslake, another great one from Uriah Heep, and then also played with Ozzy for a bit as well. Really good drummer, and I think he's been around on a few other bands as well. These are all, to me, first-rate drummers, like really good. Rock is not short of great drummers. Of course, Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawking are both really good drummers too. The guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers, I can see his face, can't think of his name. I think I don't listen to that band, so I can't really make too many comments about him, other than I like what I hear when he's doing his solo stuff. Some of the stuff I've seen online from him too. Yeah, there's just so many drummers you could spend hours talking. Even what was his name? The guy from Iron Maiden. I could see his face. McBrain. Nico McBrain, yes, of course, fantastic drummer too. I'm kind of actually sad that he's retired. I like the current drummer for um, Judas Priest too, Travis. Is it Scott Travis? There's Travis Scott. Scott Travis, I think. Yeah, excellent drummer. Very good. Very high energy drummer. And there's a lot of those speed drummers are really quite good. It takes a lot out of you to do that all night. And you imagine playing a 2-hour concert where you're constantly drilling like that. Oh my God, I don't think I could do it. I'm pretty sure that most people wouldn't want to do it. But yeah, some really good stuff there too. Some of the other bands, I like Rob Bachman. Yeah, maybe him and Gary Peterson, not the all-star drummers that some of these others are, but always liked Rob Bachman. He's always one of my favorite drummers up there. There's some other ones. Triumph's drummer Gil Moore, fantastic drummer as well. And not just that, he could sing too, like that. Very few drummers can sing great. Most of them are either drummers, and that's it, or they're just singers and that's it. You don't get like the Phil Collins and Gil Moores of the world. Are a bit on the rare side, I think. Who else? Of course, both the Styx drummers, the current one and the original one, John Panazzo, fantastic, both of them. Yeah, I just think they're both great. And one of the other drummers that I quite like is I can see the face now, but I'm having a hard time remembering the name. Isn't that always the case, Van Halen. That's the one I'm thinking of. Al Van Halen often gets put on these top 10 lists. He's often one of the drummers in there. Now, some people would say the drummer from Guns N' Roses. I don't know about that. Well, I might give it, but I probably won't. Anyways, those are my classic drummers. Those are the ones that I like. And I'm missing a whole bunch of people. I know that, but you can't get everybody the first tryout, right? So those are the ones that most come to mind for me. And I think those are among the best drummers as well. So anyways, cheers. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And I'll be back a couple weeks. We'll do another one of these. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more prepared. I was getting prepared for this, and then the phone rang, and I was on that for an hour, which never happens. I never am on the phone for any length of time, but I'm planning holidays and stuff for the future, so sometimes you have to stick with stuff. Anyways, take care. Have yourself a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.